Hello everyone, how's it going? In this video I want to take a look at resource and creature generation. Um, Once again, this is a topic that comes up in most of my videos, however I want to take a look at a macro level spread of um, the buildings across the map. So I'm going to continue using this map because I think it gives me some interesting opportunities here. And what I want to do is I want to start off by giving each player the wood ore and the resource that they need to buy their level 7 unit. So that would be crystals for you. And this would be wooden ore and mercury for you. Should be wood, ore, mercury, lots of mercury on this map. And then ore, wood, and mercury. Now, if you remember back to the ideal starting locations, that my necropolis and my inferno both require sulfur in order to buy all their creature dwelling buildings. So what I could do here is I could add in some forced conflict by putting a sulfur pit down here. And why don't I clean this up a little bit? There we go, that's better. So I could put a sulfur pit in there, and I could put a sulfur pit in there. Now, the rampart also needs gems, so I could force in some gems right here. Now, of course, I'm doing lava based, but oh well. So I've now got you fighting for those two to deprive the necropolis and to allow you to build up your own creatures. And this one here, why don't I put it in a better location down there. So now blue can run out and up and grab it. And so I've kind of forced conflict over the control of this sulfur pit. It's about equidistant between the two. You need to run down there for blue or for tan, and you need to run up there for blue. So I could conceivably wall this off in a way that makes it easier for blue to, or easier for tan to get to it, so it's still technically his, but now blue has to run the longer route to get to it, and it's still technically a conflicted object, but it's much easier for tan to retain control over it. Now, Conflux, if I remember correctly, requires pretty much everything, or at the very least I need to start introducing more resource buildings anyway. So I'm going to start throwing down, you've already got one of those, throwing down crystal, gems, you've got, I need sulfur. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then why don't I do a few neutral area gold mines while I'm at it. Gold mine here. Gold mine here. gold mine here, and gold mine here. So now I've got at least one of everything on the map. I will want to probably populate this area with crystal, gems, sulfur, mercury. So now I've got a little bit of everything. Not quite enough for one for everyone, but I've got enough to guarantee that there's constant conflict as we run around this map here. So that takes care of the resource generation. Creature generation would be next. And there really isn't that much to say. I don't have any neutral towns on this map. So it would probably make more sense just to place the specific creature dwellings that I want. So I could do, for my necropolis, I could put in, how about a estate down here, and a hall of darkness tucked in right there. For my rampart, I could put in a pair of homesteads. For my inferno, I can do, how about hellhounds and demons. And then for my conflux, I'll just do air and water. So that takes care of the bases, and I literally just copied my recommendations from the ideal starting for each place. The middle area is where it gets interesting. So I could do something like an azure dragon dwelling, or I could do sharpshooters to really get those archer fire going and really give the rampart an advantage. I could do something like a random dwelling, and if I right click and tell it which castle I want it paired with, or I could just literally leave it random and I'll just place 2 or 3 random dwellings in here. I prefer to keep it specific to the castles I've got, so why don't I do a random necro, a random rampart, a random conflux, and a random inferno. And I made them run all the way across to the other side on purpose. That way they are much more likely to cross paths when they eventually do reach each other. So the Inferno one's kind of far away though, maybe I'll just tuck it in there. Doesn't really encourage him to fight. However, red and blue are going to be more, red, blue, and green to be honest, are going to be up in this general area anyway, especially if I leave an Azure dragon building in the open. The creature generation is really something you want to make sure is there for balance. The AI traditionally doesn't park a hero on the dwelling to recruit, so if you're looking for balance against the AI, don't go overboard on your town's creature dwellings because you'll get a pretty quick advantage. However, if you are doing either multiplayer or if you just want to once again encourage exploration and reward that exploration, the dwellings are a very strong way of doing that because you have a weekly benefit from flagging dwellings. So I think that concludes this video. There's nothing really mind-blowing here. It's just a matter of using the resource and creature dwellings to further encourage people to run straight at each other. You can use them in low conflict neutral areas. However, I feel that leveling up and becoming stronger with your hero is a little more relevant in those areas. The dwellings in low conflict area is more of a troop replenishment, whereas high conflict is all about gaining additional weekly growth and denying your opponents that weekly growth. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.